So, the purpose of this presentation is, after 1 year, to relay the current status of our company, where we started, where we are, how we got here, and my recommendations on where we go in the next year. Now, I started this company with the intent of becoming a dominant force in the pervasive and ubiquitous computing platform, with a ubiquitous and pervasive platform, and hence the name Ubasive. The idea behind our product is to enable universal connectivity, allowing everything to connect and communicate with everything else, every time, everywhere. Now, the everything can be, it can be a device, small, large, anything that can have a small amount of code installed in it. It can also be a person. It can also be an application, or it can be a service from an application. So the two-dimensional browser model connecting to a server, the brain-dead functionality in the browser that really doesn't allow much, and the server that really doesn't allow much, will be a thing of the past. We will have peer computing, universal computing on demand, where every device can connect with and communicate with everything else. Now, most of you are familiar with my background in high technology, with products and projects, in working at Intel, creating the original PC, which we handed over to IBM for them to produce, working at Sun Microsystems on the original workstation, and my charter was to take the student project, which was the internet at that point, from UC Berkeley, and to make it industrial strength. And I've got some great stories about that one if I had the extra time. And over to SCO and working with SCO and going up to Microsoft on advanced operating systems development, and doing next generation space shuttle development at NASA at Ames Research. And most importantly, working on the Ubasive and pervasive computing platforms. Started at Lockheed Martin in their think tank in Palo Alto, working on a DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency's project, then went to Sun and Sun Labs, and we decided to commercialize the project. It was called Genie, and it was the original basis for my work in pervasive computing. It was the original cloud computing platform, and I gave my first presentation on cloud computing. I won't even ask you to guess what year, because it was '97. That's when we introduced cloud computing. That was 15 years ago. Now, and everyone said, cloud computing, this is the greatest thing of the 20th century. And now they're saying, cloud computing, greatest thing of the 21st century. So what has happened? Why hasn't it happened? Well, part of the problem is that we don't have the infrastructure to build the cloud computing upon. In 15 years, the underlying infrastructure has progressed to the point now where cloud computing is starting to be implemented in a piecemeal fashion. So now that we actually have some infrastructure to start implementing cloud computing, we can start to work on the next generation of cloud computing, which is ubiquitous and pervasive computing. Now, part of our platform is based, we're a small company, we can't do all this work ourselves, so we're using open source on all our key technologies, and luckily there is open source out there for all the pieces that we need to integrate and expand upon, and so we've been doing that. And we've identified strategies as far as how to progress the company and how to progress the product. One is called Blue Ocean, and it's a marketing strategy where we move into a market that has uncontested market space. This is it's not a red ocean where we fight with companies over existing market spaces and get bloody noses and get nowhere. We move into a totally new area. And since we're utilizing a new technology, this is perfect. And another part of our strategy is to go get rid of the old strategy of companies where you spend all this time designing a product, external specs, design specs, functional specs, marketing requirements, documents, and then you go and spend 6 months to a year to implement it, and then you spend another 6 months to a year trying to market it only to find there isn't a market for it. What we're doing, our paradigm is customer discovery, working hand in hand with customers, and in the process using a programming technique called agile development or extreme programming, where what we do, we're holding the customer's hand on one side and we're working with them to find out what they want, and our programming team on the other is creating the product the customer wants incrementally. We do releases on a week or every other week basis, and we feed it back to the customer. Customer tells us what they want, and we move forward with our customers and with our product into a proven market space based on what our customers want. Now, our customers we need to validate them to be a part of where we want to go and how we want to move forward, and that's part of my job as CEO. Now, we're using a strategy, a D-Day strategy in moving the product forward, where we establish a niche or a beachhead, a small market, and then we move outward, a bowling ball approach where we can market out to new markets on one side and expand our application on the other. We've identified revenue models based on our paradigm, which is universal buying or selling of products or services in a pervasive space. This can be businesses or users, small, large, small, whatever. And we're extending the current cloud model, the cloud model we originally came up with, which is where it's called software as a service, where the software is hosted remotely, but we run it locally, which means the local user doesn't have to buy and install and upgrade anymore. They can run everything they want over the network. And we're extending the paradigm of platform as a service, where people are running their applications from a remote platform, say like a Google, to run their applications. Only the platform now is our platform, which is pervasively enabled. And we'll also allow third parties. Ubasive will host and help other people, services interconnect and communicate, but we also sell the platform to allow other people to do this. So we're set up to make money on both the service side, when people are using our platform to communicate and run things, but also getting money on the infrastructure side from the third parties that are also doing this. Payment models are typical for this kind of industry, pay-per-play transaction. Somebody wants to buy or sell something or to run something, they'll pay for that transaction. Or there's a subscription basis, which is a monthly basis. And licensing, sales, freemium, which means we give it away, but if somebody wants more functionality, then they'll pay a little extra for it. And possibly, while the client application is free, we may throw some ads in, something like Facebook. Not quite sure yet. We're moving forward. So, conclusions and recommendations. While we're a small company, each of us has had to wear many hats, and I would imagine we'll have to continue to do that for a while. As it's my assumption that we grow slowly as we continue to identify who our valid customers are, what our markets are, and what our product needs to be. And I would recommend that for the time being, we continue to move slowly in identifying these things until we reach a point where we know what our market is, and we know who our customers are, and we know how we're going to make money, and people are starting to demand this product, at which point we have to ramp up, at which point we go out for angel or venture capital, at which point we have a proven model so we can get the funding we need without giving up so much equity of the company and keep it to bringing in good people. So part of my recommendation is that we continue to expand on our core technology base, investigating it, expanding on it, and working with our customer, finding out which pieces work and which ways the best. And we bring in new people, the best people, and I want to really work on the website. I want it I want to put out pieces of the application, of the technologies. I want to show people what the potential and the promise is of these technologies and get customer feedback. I want to put some blogs and some areas where we can, so as our market grows, we'll have our market tell us what they want and how they want it. And we'll also use the site to hopefully draw in paying clients and customers once they see what we're doing. Now I'm going to continue with the overall running of the company, though our COO will handle the day-to-day operations. I'm going to spend most of my time evangelizing our product and our technologies and our vision. And I'm going to be probably out of the building a lot, holding hands with customers, finding out what they want. And I'm going to continue also to focus internally with product and project management and engineering in creating the right product. Now, as we move the company forward, I need constructive input from everyone. And I need people to think outside the box. We're creating a totally new company with totally new ideas here. So I'm going to need to know from people what trade-offs are, why they think some are important, why some aren't. And so we've identified the general technologies and company and customers. And we've implemented product that begins to utilize these technologies for these markets. What we need now is to get more specific, to drill down and find out who our really valid customers are, what our real markets are, what our customers' needs and desires are. So we need to continue to refine what is truly important in our product and about our company. Mr. Toastmaster?